The 10th of December 2022, Morocco's national team defeated Portugal, one of the favorites to win the tournament, in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, becoming the first African team in history to reach the top 4 in the World Cup. How such an inconspicuous team achieved 4th place in the world? History knows many cases of amazing team performances that surprised the entire football world by becoming unbelievable tournaments underdogs. In this video, I will present to you the story of Morocco and some other crazy teams' performances that caused quite a mess at the World Cup, such as a fairy tale adventure of Costa Rica, who won against Uruguay, Italy, and England, and finished at the top of the Group D in FIFA 2014 World Cup. Scandals, unfair matches, and suspicions of corruption that nearly helped South Korea achieve 3rd place at the 2002 World Cup. The remarkable Swedish team, which had finished at 4th place in the group in 1990, losing all its matches, and just 4 years later was finished as the 3rd best team in the world. Let's start with the previously mentioned Costa Rica and its amazing performance at the 2014 World Cup. On 6th of December 2013, when FIFA held the group stage draw, everyone watching the ceremony was stunned by Group D. It included Uruguay, Italy, England, and, well, poor Costa Rica. Each person wondered which of the 3 mentioned giants would have to say goodbye to the tournament in the group stage. No one suspected what would happen a few months later. Group D surprised everyone just from the first match. Uruguay's confidence was shattered as they lost 2-1 to Costa Rica after initially scoring the first goal. It was a significant defeat for Uruguay, as it was their first World Cup loss to a non-South American or non-European country. Costa Rica continued their impressive form by defeating Italy 1-0 in their next match, although controversy arose when a penalty was not awarded for a foul on Costa Rica's striker Joel Campbell. Nevertheless, Costa Rica secured the victory and advanced from the group stage. Their final group match against England ended in a goalless draw, but it was enough for Costa Rica to top the group and advance to the next round. In the knockout stage, they faced a challenging match against Greece. The match started off slow, but Costa Rica finally took the lead with a goal from Ruiz in the second half. However, their hopes of a quiet end were shattered when Duarte received a second yellow card, forcing them to play with 10 men. Costa Rica's goalkeeper, Keylor Navas, played a crucial role in saving his team from conceding more goals. Just seconds before the end of the match, Greece equalized after a deflected ball. In the extra time, both teams failed to find a winner, leading to a penalty shootout. Once again, Navas excelled and made a decisive save, securing Costa Rica's place in the quarterfinals. The world was amazed at their unlikely success, as Costa Rica is not typically known for progressing this far in the tournament. The match between the Netherlands and Costa Rica was expected to be exciting, with the experienced Dutch team facing the surprising underdogs. The Dutch had several goal-scoring opportunities, but luck was always missing. The match went into extra time, but still no goals were scored. In the penalty shootout, the Netherlands' reserve goalkeeper Tim Krul had an outstanding performance, saving 2 penalty kicks and preventing Costa Rica from advancing to the semi-finals. Costa Rica's performance in the tournament earned them a historic 16th place in the FIFA rankings, and their goalkeeper Keylor Navas went on to join Real Madrid and win the Champions League 3 times in 5 years, bringing great recognition to the small country. For many future generations, the belief in the victory Costa Rica showed us in 2014 could be a huge inspiration and proof that with the strong character, you can really reach a lot. Let's now move to 2010, where Ghana's incredible adventure ended with one of the most recognizable handballs in all of history. It was a match between Ghana and Uruguay, and at stake was the semi-final of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Luis Suarez and a missed penalty kick ruined the team's dreams of playing in the tournament's top 4. But let's start from the beginning. The source of Ghana's amazing performances in South Africa can be found just a year earlier in 2009, precisely at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup held in Egypt. In that crazy tournament, the team led by Andre Ayew played beautiful football, gaining fans worldwide with every match. Ghana had unique ideas for building up plays, usually finished by Dominic Adiyaya, the top scorer and MVP of the tournament. The incredible young boys defeated mighty Brazil in the final, securing Ghana's first title in history. The exact same players were under pressure just a year later to play for the senior national team at the World Cup in South Africa. The Black Satellites handled this mission very well. In their first match, they defeated Serbia 1-0 and finished 2nd in the group table, only behind Germany. In the next 2 matches, stress and chaos in ball distribution appeared, resulting in a 1-1 draw with Australia and 1-0 loss to Germany. A bit of luck and a better goal difference difference secured Ghana's advancement from the group, where they faced the United States. The Ghana national team were not considered favorites in this match. After all, the USA finished first in the group, beating England among others. The match therefore promised to be a one-sided spectacle, in which Ghana suffered a clear defeat. What great surprise there was on the faces of fans around the world as the Black Satellites bravely stood up to the US national team. The match was decided in additional time when Asamoah Gyan scored to make it 2-1, securing the African team a place in the quarter-finals. The next round of the tournament was a big unknown. Ghana and Uruguay presented football at a high level. The match was very even, both teams creating chances where only a bit of luck was missing to score goals. The joy on the faces of the fans came in the added time of the first half when Sully Muntari scored a goal for Ghana and pushed the team one step closer to the top four of the tournament. Ghana's joy didn't last long because only in the 55th minute, Diego Forlan ensured a draw, which remained until the end of the match. Ghana's players faced an incredible chance when in the 120th minute of the match, Luis Suarez, trying to save the team from conceding a goal, punched the ball with his hands from the goal line. Only one well-executed penalty kick separated Ghana from a historic advancement to the top four of the tournament. As we all know, Asamoah Gyan failed to seize the opportunity for victory, and the disheartened team also failed in the penalty shootout. Despite such a great missed opportunity, this incredible adventure will forever remain in the hearts of fans worldwide. This team had to appear in this video. It's because of their amazing determination, bravery, and belief in victory they reached second place in the 2018 World Cup. I am of course talking about the Croatian national team. Many of us still remember their incredible road to the final, where they had to fight to win in overtime in all three games. Croatia finished second in their World Cup qualification group and had to go through the playoffs. They faced Greece and won over 2 matches, with a 4-1 victory in the first match and a goalless draw in the second. In the World Cup, Croatia were placed in Group D with Argentina, Iceland, and Nigeria, which was considered a tough group due to the talent of Argentina and Nigeria's previous performances. Croatia started the tournament strongly, winning all 3 group matches. They defeated Nigeria 2-0, Argentina 3-0, and Iceland 2-1. This was the first time they had won all their group matches in a World Cup. Defender Dejan Lovren expressed confidence in the team's abilities, stating that if they continued to perform as they had, they could go far in the tournament. Their next opponent was Denmark, who had also performed well in their group. In that match, Croatia had an uneasy start, losing a goal in the first minute. However, they quickly responded with a lucky goal from Mario Mandzukic just 3 minutes later. The rest of the game was played carefully, with both teams prioritizing ball possession. Regulation time did not determine a winner, and the players started overtime. In the 116th minute of the match, over 110 minutes from the last goal, Croatia were awarded a penalty kick, but Luka Modric failed to score. The match had to be decided by penalty kicks, of which Daniel Subasic proved to be the hero. The Croatian goalkeeper defended 3 shots by the Danes, securing his team's place in the quarter-finals. The next match against Russia was equally difficult for the Croatians. The 90 minutes ended in a 1-1 draw. Croatia's celebration started in the 100th minute when Domagoj Vida scored a goal for 2-1, but Russia didn't give up and equalized in the 115th minute, leading to a penalty shootout. Subasic's defense in the first round gave his team the lead. Croatia ended up winning 4-3 and advanced to the top 4. Their semi-final match against England was a difficult battle. After losing an early goal from Kieran Trippier's spectacular free kick, Croatian hopes were down and everything pointed to their defeat. However, Ivan Perisic scored the equalizing goal in the 68th minute, turning the game in Croatia's favor. Once again, for the 3rd time in a row, the team had to fight for victory in extra time. The Croatian players were physically exhausted. 3 overtime periods is equivalent to 1 extra match. Despite the unfavorable conditions, the team did not give up and ripped the victory out of the English team's hands. In the 109th minute, Croatia scored the winning goal. Despite England's efforts, they were unable to come back, and Croatia secured a historic place in the World Cup final. The match against France started according to Croatia's plan. They dominated them for the first few minutes, playing mainly on their side of the field. Unfortunately, as time went on, the French started to increase the pace and suppress the Croatian attacks. The first major blow came in the 17th minute when France had a free kick from outside the penalty area. Antoine Griezmann hit the ball, which awkwardly bounced off the Croatian head and into the goal. Just 10 minutes later, Croatia responded with a goal from Ivan Perisic, restoring belief in their victory. The remaining hopes were dashed by Antoine Griezmann in the 38th minute, Paul Pogba in the 59th minute, and Kylian Mbappe in the 65th minute. A temporary burst of optimism was added to the team by Mario Mandzukic, who took advantage of a mistake by the French goalkeeper and put the ball in the net. However, French domination was significant, and Croatia lost that final. The match ended with a score of 4-2, and France won their second World Cup trophy. Despite the defeat, Croatian captain Luka Modric was awarded the best player of the tournament, and Croatian players were sought after by the top clubs across Europe. It is now time for the fantastic story of the Swedish national team, which in 4 years managed to rebuild itself and compete for the World Cup medal. The whole story begins in 1990, when despite winning their group in qualifying for the World Cup, where they outplayed England among others, they suffered a huge defeat at the tournament. The team lost their group matches against Scotland, Costa Rica, and Brazil. Interestingly, in all 3 matches, the result was the same 2-1. Until now, this is the only time they have not won a single point at a World Cup. An improvement could be seen at the Euros 2 years later, where, as hosts, they reached the semi-finals of the tournament, cheered on by their fans. A completely changed team qualified for the 1994 World Cup as group leaders. Sweden were placed in Group B with Brazil, Cameroon, and Russia. The first match against Cameroon in Los Angeles looked like another 1-2 defeat, but in the 75th minute, Martin Dahlin scored the equalizing goal, and the match ended with a score of 2-2. In the next match against Russia in Detroit, Russia received an early penalty kick and went up 1-0. Sweden managed to come back after a penalty kick by Thomas Brolin and 2 goals by Martin Dahlin, and the score was 3-1. In their last group stage match against Brazil, also in Detroit, they tied 1-1 after goals by Kenneth Anderson in the 23rd minute and Romario in the 47th minute. In the first match of the knockout phase, Sweden faced Saudi Arabia in extreme heat and humidity in Dallas, where the match started at the hottest time of the day, at 4:30. Sweden won 3-1 after 2 goals by Kenneth Anderson and 1 goal by Martin Dahlin. Their quarter-final match against Romania in San Francisco became a memorable game. Sweden scored a goal in the 78th minute, and their fans began to celebrate the victory. However, in the 88th minute, Romania surprised the excited Swedes and scored the equalizing goal that caused the extra time. Driven by the desire to win, Romanians scored another goal in the 101st minute and took the lead of the match. However, 5 minutes before the end, Kenneth Anderson scored a goal with his head to equalize at 2-2. The penalty kicks started with Sweden missing, but Thomas Ravelli managed to defend 2 penalty kicks, securing Sweden's victory and making himself a hero. The team advanced to the semi-finals, where they faced Brazil in Los Angeles. They were able to score a goal in the group stage against Brazil, but failed to do so a second time. After Jonas Thern was ejected from the field with a red card, the only goal of the match was scored by Romario in the 80th minute, and the team was left to fight for 3rd place. In this match, Sweden faced Bulgaria, who had lost to Italy in their semi-final match in New York. The team dominated Bulgaria and scored all 4 goals already in the first half of the match. Sweden finished 3rd and won the bronze medal, which is the best placing for a national team in the World Cup since the silver medal in 1958. This took Sweden to 2nd place in the UEFA World Ranking in November 1994. They finished as the tournament's top scorers, scoring a total of 15 goals. Here is one of the most controversial performances in World Cup history. South Korea, as it is referred to, co-hosted the 2002 FIFA World Cup tournament with Japan. For a complete understanding of the absurd, it's worth noting that Korea had never won a single match in the World Cup before. Their adventure began with a historic victory against Poland 2-0. In the next match, Korea sensationally drew against the USA, scoring the equalizing goal at the end of the match. The third opponent was the much better Portugal. Surprisingly, the Europeans received 2 red cards for brutal fouls, which allowed South Korea to take the lead in the match and score the winning goal. Despite some minor mistakes, it was generally agreed that South Korea fairly finished first in the group. In the next match, against Italy, the previously mentioned fairness was out of the question. Ecuadorian referee Byron Moreno allowed South Korea to press hard and foul the Italians throughout the match. Damiano Tomasi's goal was also wrongly disallowed due to an offside. The Italian players constantly received harsh attacks, but the Koreans did not even receive a yellow card. Terrible refereeing and the poor form of the Italian team resulted in Korea advancing to the next phase of the tournament. Italian fans were furious because of the injustice they suffered. After this scandalous match, Ahn Young-hwan, a key player of the match who played on loan at Perugia, had to say goodbye to Serie A as a result of the cancellation of his contract. FIFA could not ignore the situation and has released a clear statement. As a result of a number of controversies involving referee Byron Moreno in Japan, Italy, and South America over the past few months, FIFA has decided to launch an investigation into this matter. European media were even more furious furious after South Korea eliminated Spain in the quarterfinals after penalty kicks. This time, Egyptian referee Gamal Al Gandour wrongfully disallowed 2 goals and had a whole litany of mistakes, making it much harder for the Spanish team to win. The first disallowed goal was from the free kick, after which the ball bounced off a South Korean defender and fell into the net. Another such situation had a place a few moments later. This time, the referee wrongly stated that the ball had left the line of the field, even though the whole world saw that this was not the reality. The South Koreans took all 5 penalty kicks and secured their place in the semi-finals. In the next match, with the World Cup final at stake, justice triumphed. Germany successfully defended the honor of the whole of Europe and eliminated Korea's national team. Despite the huge controversy over their performance, the Korean players showed incredible determination and surprised the whole world by reaching 4th place in the World Cup. Before we get to the most curious story in the video, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this, and a thumbs up if you appreciate my work. It's time for the latest of the stories in today's video. They are known as the Atlas Lions, a Moroccan football team that surprised the world in 2022. Their run exceeded all expectations, going deep into unexplored territory, further than they or any other African team had ever gone before. Morocco's progress has resulted in some memorable moments. A draw against 2018 finalist Croatia, a thrilling victory against second-placed Belgium, and another win over Canada, which saw the Lions climb to the top of their group. Images of coach Walid Regragui gleefully tossed into the air and players lying on the pitch in prayer have become iconic. But perhaps the most powerful and uplifting scenes of the tournament depict the seasoned conquering heroes, celebrating openly and sometimes foolishly with their mothers. In their next match, they faced Spanish national team, whose main strengths were the passing and talent of their young players. However, this was not enough to threaten the Moroccan team. Spain had more than 75% ball possession in regulation time and extra time, completing almost 1,000 passes in total, but had only 1 shot on goal. Extra time also failed to determine a winner, and the teams had to score on penalties. Pablo Sarabia, Carlos Soler, and captain Sergio Busquets missed penalty kicks for Spain. Sarabia hit the post, and Morocco goalkeeper Yassine Bounou stopped the other 2. The match finished when Spanish-born Atlas Lions superstar winger Achraf Hakimi brought down the curtain at Education City Stadium, scoring a crucial strike. Moroccan fans went into raptures, and tens of thousands of Moroccan fans began to celebrate. Morocco found itself in a special situation, carrying the hopes of both the Arab region and the African continent. Their matches felt like home games, with the stands full of their fans. Moroccan spectators cheered for their team, mocked the opponents, and passionately supported their heroes. The next opponent turned out to be Portugal. At stake in the match was promotion to the best 4 of the tournament. From the start of the match, Portugal had a slight advantage, possessing the ball for more time, exchanging more passes, and shooting more often at the opponent's goal. However, carried by the fans' cheering and self-confidence, the Moroccans scored a goal in the 42nd minute, and Portugal started to play nervously. Cristiano Ronaldo's team, despite several phenomenal opportunities, failed to make up ground, and Morocco began to celebrate. More importantly, this is a moment that changed the way Arab and African teams are perceived, not only in the eyes of European and South American teams, but also in the eyes of their own fans. One of the most shared post-match videos, apart from the Morocco team's celebration, is the one of Cristiano Ronaldo crying as Portugal crashes out of the tournament. In their next match, stakes were the World Cup final. Morocco's rival was France, who robbed the Africans of their dreams by scoring goals in the 5th minute and in the 79th minute. Despite the 2-goal loss, Morocco had more possession of the ball and a similar number of shots, suggesting an even and competitive match. In the consolation match for 3rd place, a heartbroken team failed to win against the Croatians and had to settle for 4th place. Despite these 2 defeats, this team is regarded as one of the best underdogs in the history of the World Cup. The atmosphere that accompanied each of their matches, the loyal fans, and the charismatic players have gone down in football history forever.